going on, everyone? Got a brand new movie review for you guys today, and today we're discussing Venom. Let's talk about it. Venom, of course, is the brand new comic book movie from Sony. It's not tying into the MCU, and it stars Tom Hardy, Riz Ahmed, and Michelle Williams, and it's directed by Ruben Fleischer, who did Zombieland. Now, when this film was announced, I was a little bit skeptical. Then Tom Hardy got signed on. I was like, okay, you might have something there. Where do I start with this film? Go as far as say, though, I had a blast watching this movie. One, it's all guilty pleasures. If I was critiquing this film as a straight up, just what is wrong with the movie, there's tons wrong with this film. It's a mess. This film is bad at times, but I'll go as far as say it's not horrendously bad, it's not horrible, and it's definitely not great. It's just kind of okay. But that's okay, because Venom is the Venom film that I never knew I wanted or never knew that I needed in my life. It is a blast to watch, and it's a blast to watch with your friends and an audience, because some of the moments in here are so cheesy and cringeworthy that you just cannot help but laugh. There's a lot of moments where it's trying to be serious, but you laugh and you get into it. Again, I enjoyed this film totally entertained because of it was a guilty pleasure to me. You put this film in guilty pleasure. Now, again, I didn't want it to be a guilty pleasure. It's not the Venom film I truly wanted or needed in my life, and I didn't know I needed it till now, but I definitely wanted more from it. I wanted it to be better, and that's a full disclosure. When I heard Tom Hardy was getting signed on, I'm like, this could be something special, and it definitely is something special in its own way, shape, and form. Before I get into my cons, I do want to mention my pros. One of my biggest pros is Tom Hardy as Eddie Brock. As much as the script is horrendously bad and it has a lot of cheesy dialogue that just does not match the tone of the film, Tom Hardy does the best that he can, and I loved him as Eddie Brock. I think he did such a great job. I mean, coming from someone who really likes all the iterations of Venom from the comics, I mean, you got the 90s, the 2000s, the modern day versions right now, I've liked every interpretation of Venom, and definitely this is the more comedic, cheesy Venom that we got kind of in the early 90s, and I didn't hate that they went that route, but it also didn't match with the tone. But Tom Hardy does what he has to do with Eddie Brock, and I cared for Eddie Brock as a character. He did a really good job making me care about his relationship and his romance, not with Michelle Williams, but with Venom himself. The character arc that these two characters have together and their relationship arc throughout the movie actually really is effective and works really well, to the point where you care about Venom, and again, you also care about Eddie Brock. Venom definitely is one of the best parts about this film. When he's in the film, though, I felt like there wasn't enough of him. There is a lot of him, but there wasn't enough of him as I thought there would be. And really, when he's in the film, when him and Eddie are having their conversation, it makes for funny moments, and I don't know if the film wanted me to laugh or if I should have been laughing, but I was, and I enjoyed those moments with them together. Of course, this is non-spoilers. I will be doing a spoiler review tomorrow, so I'm not going to get into any of the main interactions that they go with, but there are a couple moments within a woods is one particular, and one in a bathroom that I just absolutely died, and I couldn't stop laughing. I loved it, and the whole audience around me was getting around this film as well. Some of the action scenes in here were actually pretty badass. I enjoyed them. Are they filmed the best? No. Are they just... Did I feel like Deadpool when he goes, big CGI battle about to happen? Absolutely, because that's what it felt like, but it's effective. It's fun. And yeah, I guess you can put Venom again, as much as a guilty pleasure to me, you can look at it as, yeah, it's just a generic action film at times. Where my cons start for Venom. I mean, one of my things is that this film should have been better. Absolutely should have been better. You have a talented, really good cast on here. I mean, you have Michelle Williams and Riz Ahmed, who are completely wasted in this movie. I like their characters, but they just had nothing to do. I mean, Michelle Williams is just around here pushing buttons and whatnot, and Riz Ahmed is just your generic villain and such. I tell you, he is Riot, and Riot looks pretty badass. I really liked his aesthetics and what he looked like. Just felt like overall the whole concept was wasted. Venom could have been a very unique and kind of special, different type of movie. And yeah, it is unique in its own way, but not in the way that I wanted it to be. And yeah, the script and the dialogue is a mess. The story overall just feels like a very generic aliens come to Earth type of story. And the dialogue within it is a little bit cheesy at times. And when the first act of the film is very slow and meandering. It's not totally boring, and I was into it every time Eddie Brock was in it, but there were some other things where it's jumping around, and I felt like I didn't need a lot of it, and I felt like it should have just gotten to the point faster. But it's very overly serious in the beginning first act, and then it just goes cheesy route. Again, I don't know if it wanted it to be that route, but it didn't feel that serious tone anymore. And it just felt generic and cheesy towards the back half, where it felt like the tone was very mishapped and not seamless. And it kind of bothered me at times. That's not just like the full-blown critic coming out of me. That's just me as a general audience goer talking about this movie, is that, yeah, sometimes it didn't feel like it was seamless through, and that's where the pacing kind of felt like an issue too. There's times where I was enjoying it, there's times where I wasn't, and there's times where I was like, come on, just show me more Eddie Brock and Venom. Here's the thing, if you're watching this review, if you're on the skeptical side of, should I see Venom? Don't. If you're one of those people who are really intrigued to see this movie, go see it. You're probably going to like it. You're going to get something out of this movie. Maybe you'll absolutely hate it. I don't know. Maybe you'll feel like me and you're in the guilty pleasure. Maybe you'll absolutely love it for all the reasons that I didn't like it. And Venom should have been a better film. That's hands out. I go into every film thinking it's going to be great. Even if the trailer was bad. Some films do come out looking better than what the trailer was. And the trailers for me were way better than this movie was. Definitely not a turn in the wind. And it's definitely not one of the worst films of this year. I enjoyed it. Again, if you're on the fence, I don't know if you should see it. It's hard to recommend. I would recommend Upgrade right here because this is the better version of Venom. So if you want to stay at home this weekend and maybe you just aren't into The Star is Born, which I do recommend a lot, Upgrade. It's literally the better version of Venom. Can say if you are interested in this film, you still want to go see it. I think you're going to get something out of this movie, especially out of Eddie Brock and Venom's relationship. So with all that said, I'm going to give Venom a C. Absolutely loved some of the guilty pleasure aspects of this movie, and again, I went into this film wanting more of it, so I come out a little bit disappointed, actually a lot of disappointed, wanting something different, but still having a blast with myself in the theater. Not the worst film I've ever seen, definitely not the best, but tell me guys, what are your guys' thoughts on Venom? Are you guys excited to see it? Are you intrigued to see it? Are you now more intrigued to see it because of what I'm saying? Wait for that spoiler review, because there's going to be some stuff to discuss in that film. But guys, thank you guys so much for watching this video. You guys are seriously all the best. If you guys are new here, hit up Sandwich on Films also down below, because right down there, if you guys want to see movies early, you guys can go see it down below. Check out there. You guys can get into advanced screens there, and also check out some movie news and even some movie reviews. Guys, of course, until next time, stay classy.